Yeah, I think there are some questions already on the chat. Let me just read out some of them. No. Uh, okay, let's see. Scroll down. There you go. How Adonis Gabriel, may I respectfully ask for a suggestion how a standalone CLEP may be implemented in a law school with existing legal clinics. By standalone, I would suppose no, you mean yung uh, parang specific issue clinic, no. Again, in our experience in UP, we 2 years ago we diversified, no, by creating specific issue clinics to supplement our traditional Office of Legal Aid. And how we went about it was simply by again providing for first a concept of the program. No, what would that clinic do, no? And what would that clinic focus on? And then we set out to identify specific people who could maybe take on the clinic. Uh, Very specific yung hinahanap namin nun. We were looking not just for uh, a lawyer who was handling cases. We were also looking for someone who was handling those types of cases or issues, but could actually teach, could actually mentor. Kasi if you recall, no, Rule 138A, paulit-ulit sinasabi dyan na may dalawang component siya no? Yung clinical aspect and the classroom aspect. So it is a teaching clinic actually. So kailangan yung balance na hindi lang siya magaling na lawyer na involved in that particular issue, but also magaling din siya magturo or may pasensya siya magturo, no? Kasi ito hindi na to classroom as it were no? Kasi clinic siya, may very specific siya in the context of a case. So dapat may konting tiyaga siya, may passion din siya to explain, no? So part of it is that. So we were fortunate that we were able to get specific lawyers who were willing to handle that. Some of them were already teaching at UP, for example, no? Again, I'll give the example of the environment clinic that we have. The lawyer who's handling that is a lawyer I've known even when I was a student, no? Nung estudyante ako, kilala na siya na humahawak siya mga environment cases. And so across over the years, consistent siya in that advocacy, no? And so when we were thinking of an environment clinic, it was fortunate that she was teaching a subject in property in UP Law. So we said, pwede bang in addition to your property subject, can you handle a clinic for environment? What we want you to do is simply take one or two of your cases, no, and allow interns to work on those cases under your supervision. And so there were specific items na we told her, can you ask them to do this? Pero may ibang items na hindi pwedeng pagawa, no? So for example, because they were not yet accredited as law student practitioners, no? Kasi bagong-bago yung rule, no? They could not sign pleadings. But we said, give them experience to draft, give them experience in research. If the occasion allows, allow them to go to court, no? But of course, because the lawyer, no, was very experienced in this, no, and she's very very passionate. If you meet her, you will be amazed by how passionate she is, no. So ganun siya, no. So a lot of the interns ended up doing so much, no, on their own, voluntarily. They went above and beyond yung minimum na sinet namin. So that worked very well, no. And so the next thing we also talked about was how many students can you handle? What's your carrying capacity, no? Considering mag-isa siya, these are her cases. What's your carrying capacity? So she said, up to 5 to 7 kaya ko. So fine. So we said 5 to 7 students ang hawak mo. Yung ganung klase. So that's how we started, no? And then we just discussed the idea, the concept, the vision, as it were, of an environment clinic. So right now, even virtually, because we started 2 years ago, so face-to-face pa yun, no? The students were able to go to court, to observe court proceedings, nakilala nila yung judge, nakita nila yung prosecutor, no? Right now, even though hindi na siya face-to-face, I think mas marami sila nagagawa kasi virtual, no? And so, they're able to go outside Manila, for example, kasi virtual na eh. So marami sila nahahawakan. Even issues in Zambales, for example, may case sila nahawakan na in Zambales kasi virtual. So it also allowed them to expand, no, the reach because of the virtual environment. So yung ganung klase, that's how we were able to do a standalone. Now, one of the things we were very conscious of was we needed to comply with Rule 138A. And Rule 138A, ang compliance clinic namin doon is OLA. No, yun yung compliance namin with Rule 138A. Mindful that our students also need to qualify for the bar, no? So so hindi lang siya yung specific issue clinic. We needed all our students to have a compliant clinic, no? So the OLA is still our compliant clinic. So in that sense, all of them are required to have at least one SEM of OLA, no? So yung isang SEM nila, pwede sila mamili kung ano yung gusto nilang clinic. Doon sa isang SEM, required sila mag-OLA. Now, if they want to do both SEMs in OLA, that's fine. Option nila yon. But they cannot do two SEMs in the issue clinics and not do OLA. Kasi yung OLA yung pang comply namin eh. 60 hours yung requirement sa OLA, and that's catering to the indigency issues. So pasok siya dun sa clinic as specified under Rule 138A. But we were able to add the additional components of vision setting, social justice, by the specialized clinics as well, because we were able to expand it to more issues. And it also allows them to express their preference, no? So at the end of the year, sometimes we ask them, ano pang ibang clinics ang gusto niyo makita? So actually, ang daming suggestions. We're looking at possibly creating some more, no? For example, we have people who we know are doing children's rights, for example. So baka pwedeng mag-create ng isang maliit na children's rights clinic, or maybe even women's issues, for example. No, yung mga ganong klase. And so we also are looking at the possibility of creating clinics that are not focused only on litigation. This is primarily for those who might have difficulty because they're working, no? I know this is a common refrain for those who have students who are working students. And not only working students, working students with the government, no? Kasi syempre, pag purely litigation, hindi sila pwedeng basta-basta aalis. Kasi baka madisiplina sila ng civil service, no? And so an alternative there would be an issue clinic, no? Now they can enroll. And the issue clinic can possibly be non-litigation. For example, like what? Formulation of policy, no? Or maybe working with a court, no? Again, the PCC clinic that we have might be one of the models for that, no? So we're exploring that for those who are working, kasi hirap talaga sila pag yung traditional litigation-based clinic, kasi that means they have to absent themselves. Pag may hearing, kailangan silang ma-absent din uli, no? So yung mga ganong klase, mahirapan talaga sila to complete that. So yeah, that would be how I would answer that question. Would it be, Angel Ohastro, would it be possible to provide coaching for the newly born? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Toff was saying, right? You can partner with the Asia Foundation. We can have conversations, definitely. Okay, what else? I think I've mentioned Attorney Evelyn Beltran, how to set up a legal clinic which caters to working students. I mentioned that, no, partly. The idea of a clinic that may be not litigation based, that may be looking at, for example, formulation of helping in formulate policies, helping to educate, no, coming up with educational materials on the law or rights, for example, no. Pwede naman yun. Those are clinics that can cater to working students, kasi pwede nilang gawin yon even without having to appear in court, no? So pwedeng ganon, or for example, maybe to some extent negotiation clinics, no? Yung mga ganong klase. So those would be some of the things that we can look at in relation to helping our working students. Is CLEP discouraging externship in a private law office? Yes. Pwede, wala namang problema to do an externship or an internship in a private firm to gain experience, but it cannot be the credited clinic. It's not the compliant clinic, no. Even in UP, meron kaming ganung clinic. Meron kaming tinatawag na LIC. That is our private practice clinic. In that clinic, there is a supervising lawyer. It takes on cases that are not taken on by OLA kasi hindi siya indigent, no? For example, some of the cases na hinawakan na ng private practice clinic, registration of intellectual property. But, meron kasing academic value yun eh. Even as a student, natutunan niya paano siya mag-register ng isang application, di ba? But otherwise, hindi pwedeng hawakan ng OLA yun. Pero hindi namin pwedeng i-credit yun as part of the compliant clinic. That's why, sa amin, OLA pa rin yung compliant clinic namin. So yes, to answer the question, yes, CLEP is not encouraging, no, in the sense that it will not be credited. But if the student really wants, for example, to find out how it is to be in a private law firm, then walang problema, hindi na mabawal. Hindi lang siya pwedeng i-credit. No? Hindi lang siya pwedeng i-credit. At Jose Glenn Capanes, finding the right context of the law may be challenging. Lawyers may be threatened, worse, killed, or ambushed. To your knowledge, was there an instance the lawyers of a law clinic were subjected to such challenges? If yes, how was it handled? If no, how should it be handled? I can only speak from my experience. I can't speak for others. When I was director of OLA, wala pa naman kaming na-experience na yung may napatay, may na-ambush, no? Dahil sa trabaho sa clinic. The most that happened was, again, in a specific case involving a hazing case, no, which OLA handled during my term as director. Siyempre, dahil yung mga students yung nag-iimbestiga, no, trying to find out what really happened, they had some, well, in a sense, no, tense moments with the members of the fraternity na under investigation. Pero hanggang dun lang, no. We're really careful over the years. We've more or less also come up with some sort of a security thing, no. We have protocols, of course, on sexual harassment, no. Kasama yun, no, kasi over the years we've also had our fair share of complaints about that, no, of students being harassed, as it were, when they appear in court. And I and previous directors, including the current director, who is also our dean, have been, very, very strict on that. Zero tolerance kami dyan sa ganyan, no? So we would tell our students, if you have experienced that, no, go straight to me. I'm as director, go straight to us, and we will handle it, no? So yung mga ganung klase, yun yung na-experience namin. But thankfully, wala pa naman kaming na-experience na ganung klase. But I do agree with the observation that finding the right context, no? So, of course, I'm not saying that we should rush blindly into this, right? And just handle the most serious issues. I remember, I think I saw Buksu here earlier. We had a conversation with the dean and the supervising lawyer, the director of Buksu, no. And one of the issues that came out, they wanted to do I hope you don't mind. I'm not sure if Dean is here or si Attorney Offie yata nandito eh. I hope you don't mind if I give this as an example, no. Now, one of the issues is really LUMADs, right? Indigenous peoples in Bukidnon. Of course, that's a very, very sensitive, very, very, hot issue, as it were, right? But it's also a very relevant issue. And one of the things that they said, they wanted to be able to have a clinic that's focused on addressing those issues, right? Napakaganda nun. But of course, kailangan pag-aralan talaga paano isi-situate yung clinic within that kind of an issue, right? We're not saying, just go blindly into it and say, sige, tutulungan namin kayo and everything. Kailangan dyan medyo may konting sensitivities on how we handle it, what's our approach, no? And how do we present ourselves in such a way that we do not also endanger our students, our faculty, our supervising lawyers, no? Over the years, I started out as a supervising lawyer in the UP OLA. I also served as director for a while, came back to UP as a supervising lawyer, and now I've always told students this, no? uh, you are not here to just do a job. No, you're here to learn. You're students. So our primary responsibility to you is as students. No, and so we have a responsibility to you as students, and we take that seriously. I would tell them that. No, so if you again, if you encounter danger, if you encounter harassment, no, you have to tell us kasi kami yung responsible for you, no. And so in that same way, in developing that clinic, for example, we need also to look at that, hindi lang yung service na mabibigay, kasi of course our students are also our main, in a sense, no, main constituency, no. Sila yung tinuturuan natin, kasama doon yung pagprotekta sa kanila at pagprotekta sa clinic. So, kailangan dan may konting, lalo na sa mga ganong klaseng issues, may konting calibration, may konting sensitivities in how to handle it, no? So, yun, hindi yan basta-basta ginagawa, no? That's why importante din doon, may suporta, no, from administration, from the school itself, no. It's very very helpful if the school administration is totally supportive, no, kasi it boosts your confidence, no. So yung mga ganung klase, but yes, that's a very very good observation, and I agree with it.